Good evening, all the co-learners, ladies and gentlemen, and the resource person for the day. I welcome you all for 7th National Seminar of 2021 from Adhyapana. To start with a small introduction about Adhyapana, we are an organization renowned for superior programs delivered by an enviable team of qualified and highly experts found to be passionate and dedicated with a commitment to deliver real societal benefits. Adhyapana is actually a business firm with an objective of enhancing professional excellence among all the stakeholders. The word Adhyapana means to facilitate learning. And we have a lot of skill development, skill enhancement programs for the various stakeholders, from the students, faculties, and the educational institutes, and also the industries, the corporate world. Though we are into we are specialized into the behavioral aspects, life skills, soft skills, and others, we also have extended our services to the institutes, that is academic institutes, in terms of accreditation training and advising towards quality enhancement. We support the institutes for research training, subject domain training, employability skill enhancement, interpersonal skills and emotional intelligence, and career guidance also. Along with our business development, we are also catering to the community services, that is the CSR activities in terms of rural development, educating underprivileged sector of the society, and also educating the senior citizens. All said and done, a small introduction about Adhyapana, and we are also active on all the social media platforms like Facebook, YouTube, and all our sessions will be uploaded on the YouTube once it is done. So this was a small introduction, and coming to our resource person for the day, Professor Kumar. He is an assistant professor in the Department of MBA at RNS Institute of Technology, Bangalore. He has around 14 years of experience in the IT, at the various IT industry, in the various roles involving the alliances and channel management, business development, marketing, and sales. He has hands-on experience in developing new markets for the business to streamline the workflows and also accelerating growth for the business development. Sir has an impeccable records of improving the organizational sales, directly impacting the financial development of the firms wherever he has worked. And by this, I can understand that sir has a strong experience into the sales and marketing. However, for a change, I think today Professor Kumar will help us to understand how do we use Google platform for teaching learning process. Professor Kumar, thank you for accepting our invitation, and over to you. I'm making you host. You can share your slides or your session.
Okay, all right. Thank you very much. Thank you for that very nice invitation, and really happy to learn about Adhyapana also. So today we are just going to learn very basics related to Google Classroom, which will aid each one of us in our teaching process in our colleges. Okay, due to the pandemic and due to other things, we are facing a different situation here where we need to use online mechanism for reaching out to the students and completing our activities in terms of classes and other things. So what we're going to cover today is just going to be very basic. So somebody who is not clear, how do I use Google Classroom? How should I use Google Meet as a medium of connecting with my students? So these are very basic questions. Maybe for somebody who has been doing this, it may feel, oh, it is very simple. But there are a lot of people who have that issue where they've not got an understanding of it. So what we're going to do is we're going to learn each of these things step by step, and we're going to see how easy it is to go ahead and use the online platform for our educational purposes. Okay, I'm just going to share the screen. Just a minute, I'm going to share the screen.
Yes, sir.
Okay, are you able to see the screen now? Yes, no?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay, great. All right. So just to understand, anybody who's already worked on Google Classroom, or everybody here do not know how to, basically we don't have any understanding. I'm starting off this discussion thinking that none of us here know what to do in terms of what is a Google Classroom and how do we go about, so that we start from the basics. Okay. So what are we going to cover? Right, we're going to cover two things in our agenda today. We're going to look at Google Classroom, and we're going to understand what is Google Meet. Right, that's a platform where you can do video conferencing and audio calls also. Okay, so we're going to learn these two things in our session today. All right, so basics of Google Classroom. Right, these are the basic elements of your Google Classroom. How do I create a Google Classroom? How do I create a classroom code, and how do I share that link with everybody, or how do I share the classroom code with everybody for them to log into the class? How do I upload my notes? How do I create materials and create assignments and grading for those assignments? And how do I add people or students or co-teachers into a Google Classroom? So this is what I'm going to cover in my session today. Okay. So this is going to be very simple and a hands-on session. People who are having a laptop and an internet connection can try and work this as and when I'm going and doing the steps in the browser. You can also try and do it. Okay, so these are the 4 or 5 things that we're going to learn about Google Classroom. And similarly, in terms of Google Meet, we're going to understand how you're going to create a Google Meet call using a computer. I'm not going to use an app or a phone, because it may get confusing for a few of them. So we're going to use a computer and not a phone for scheduling Google Meet and creating a Google meeting code and a link, right? So these are the 2 things that we are going to cover. Okay. So now the basic step that you need to start off, right, to in order to have a Google Classroom is your Gmail account, right? All of you are aware of this, that you need to have a basic Gmail account. All right. So I have created a Gmail account already, and I am going to share that to you. Okay. So you're able to see the Gmail account now, right? I've just logged into any normal Gmail account. I would really be happy if people say yes, or at least in the chat window, put yes or no, so that I have a reference point. Okay. So now it's as simple as this. Now, first thing that we want to do is we want to understand how are we going to create a Google Classroom, right? So I'm just going to click on this link. Are you able to see the screen now?
Yes, sir. The PPT is visible.
Okay, all right. So I'm going to open this link. Are you able to see this create a class, Google Classroom?
Yes, sir.
Okay, great. So basically, it's a very simple step. Okay, if you see to the right side of the Google Classroom, first thing I'll teach you is how do we go into a Google Classroom. Okay, first thing, you've logged into Gmail, and on the right hand side, you have these dots that are available or visible for you. Just click on that and you can scroll down. You will see multiple different applications of Google that are available at your disposal, and you can scroll down until you see Google Classroom. Okay, just click on that, and now you will be able to see a Google Classroom window. Are you able to see this now?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay, great. So now on the right hand side, you will see a plus mark. Yes. So this is a hands-on to understand how you're going to create a Google Classroom. Very basic. Go click on that plus mark and say create class. Okay. This is a statement that you say you have read and understood. Basically, they're saying that if you're using this for educational purposes, you can try and use the Google Suite, which is there for educational institutions specifically. But we'll continue with this. Right. So what do you want to give the name of the class as? You want to give the, let's say I'm going to give the class name as Adhyapana, facilitate learning. Right. And you can say that we are doing this in Zoom, Conference Bridge. Right. So we'll say create. So this step, what it does is it is basically creating a classroom. So once you create the classroom, it is very simple in terms of what you want to do in the classroom. It is basically notes you want to update. You want to update provide assignments or give tests. You can do everything that you want to do in a Google Classroom just the way you would do in a normal classroom. Okay. So now the first question is, okay, because I have created my Google Classroom, how do I add people into this? How do I tell people, please log into this, and you will be able to access Adhyapana, the courses that are there in Adhyapana or the classroom in Adhyapana, right? So it's very simple. Now you are able to see the screen where there is a classroom code that has been created for you. Are you able to see this? SMFH3FK, is it visible?
Yes, sir.
Right next to that, there is a small box. You just click on this and you will see that it gets enlarged. Okay. So now all you need to do is, let's say I want to send this to few people in a few of the students, or let's say I want to send it out to different people to join this classroom. So first step is you've created a classroom. Second step, you are asking people to join this classroom. So now you're going to say copy invite link. So this link has been copied. Okay. Now let's say I think I'm going to send it to the Adhyapana group. I don't know if I'll be able to send it to them or not. But let me just try and send it to them. I'll send it to ma'am, and probably ma'am can share it across to you. So
Sir, you
it
can
comes
share
to
in the
you as
group.
a link. Sorry?
You can share in the group. I have changed the settings.
Okay, ma'am, I'll do that. I'll share it in the group so that once you have this link, what happens is that you can just a minute. I think there's some issue with the internet. It's taking. Right, all of you would have received this link. Can you just click on the link now? So it will basically take you to the Google Classroom that is there. Yeah, have you all clicked? So basically, the people who are going to join this link will get into being the students here. If you can just click on the link, yeah, we have Punitavati K who's logged into the link and she is able to log in here as a student. It's as simple as that, right? So you first thing is you have created the classroom, and once you have created the classroom, you click on the classroom code and copy the invite link and send it across to whomever you want to send, right? So now you have one person who's joined in. Let me just refresh if anyone else has joined into the session. Yeah, we have so many people who has joined in. Very simple, right? This is the first step where you are able to create a classroom and then you're able to add students into the classroom, right? I've made a presentation and also I've made link which will tell you each of the steps. But if you are able to follow what I'm telling you, it's as simple as this, right? Till here, hope we are clear. We know how to create a classroom, how to add students into our classroom. We just create a link and share the link with anybody that you deem to be required in this classroom. Okay, right. So now the next step is, how do I upload something onto the classroom? How do I make sure that people are getting what they need in terms of a notes or in terms of a question paper, anything that you want to share? How do I put this in this classroom? So you have 5 or 6 students who have joined in, right? We have more. I think we have about 6 people who have joined in. So now I want to share notes with them, or I want to share question papers with them. How do I do this? It's also very simple, right? It's as simple as a couple of clicks. So usually what happens is people confuse, right? Announce something in the class is what you see in this first stream or the first page that opens, and they start clicking here and they want to update something and they will say add. So I will say notes of presentation, and they will say I will add a presentation or a file here. Let's say I want to add my presentation which is there in on my desktop. So let's say Adhyapana PPT. So right, I will do this, but this is not the correct thing to do. Okay, this is just for the first page that you see as stream is only a place where you use for communication, or you just use it as a uh, information page. So this is not the page where you are supposed to update or upload your notes or anything. Where you are actually supposed to do this is you're supposed to do it in the classwork. Classwork is where you need to update anything that is related to the class. Okay, so now if you go to classwork, you see on your left hand side there is something called as a plus symbol and it is showing as create. If you can click on this, it is asking you what you want to do. So I want to update notes. So I will say, click on materials, right? So notes of, so once you click on that materials, this screen will come to you. What is the screen? This screen is basically the step where you say what you're providing as notes to the students. So this could be module 1, module 2, module 3, any of the module wise notes that you're giving, or a complete PDF document that you're attaching, right? Today's PPTs, right? So now you've written the description, you've given the title. Now you want to add the file. So what you do is click on add. You can upload files directly from your Google Drive. You can upload file from a link, or you can upload file which is there in your system. I'm only taking the system so that it will be simpler. Somebody who does not understand Google Drive or a link, if something is there on their laptop or on their machine, they can upload it, right? So I'm going to click file and go to browse. And where is it? Where is the presentation that I have? I have it on my desktop. So I'm going to click on desktop and press present adhyapana.pptx. I'm going to say upload. So your material is ready. Okay, once you say that the material is this notes that I am supposed to provide to my students, you've uploaded, you've kept it ready. Now until you post it, this is not going to go into the students. So I'm going to say post. On the right hand side you see something called as post. Okay, now in your classwork, the first notes that you have shared is available, right? What is the description of this? It is today's PPTs and view material. Students can now download. So people who have logged in, right, who have created or logged in as students, you can check in your Google Classroom. You would be a student and you will have access to this presentation. So this is our very basic or starting step that we do in terms of uploading our notes and providing access to students, right? So if you people want to check in your Google Classroom whether this Adhyapan PPT is available for you, you can just do a check. And somebody can confirm if you are able to see this. I'll be more than happy to proceed further.
Yes, sir.
Okay, great. So all these steps that I showed you is basically in the links that I have created for you, right? If you just go on this link and click, it is going to tell you what are the steps that I followed. People who are not very clear, or maybe they think that it was a little quick for them to follow, it is available and the PPT access is there for you, right? So again, creating Google Classroom code and the link I've told you, right? The next thing is uploading notes also we have understood, and materials also we have understood. There is something that we use this very often in terms of our assignments, right? You want to give an assignment to the student. Let's say they have about 10 mark or 5 mark in their curriculum assigned to writing a assignment or completing a activity. Let's say you want to give a case study that you have and you want to ask the students to do that case study and submit it. They can do this online. Okay, so now I'm going to tell you how we are going to create an assignment and how we are able to do the evaluation for it. Okay, yeah. So now again, instead of clicking material, I am going to go and say assignment. What did I do? I'm going to go to create and I'm going to click on assignment, right? The process remains the same. Okay, this is a repetitive process. So if you want to create any other thing, let's say you want to create a topic, or you want to create a question bank, you can create that, right? The process remains the same. Okay, so now I want to create a assignment. the reason why I am asking specifically that we look at an assignment is students usually what they do is they will say that, okay, how do we submit the assignment? We can't send it to you through WhatsApp. All those issues of actually making it work is there. So assignments specifically using the Google Classroom platform makes our life simpler and the student's life even more simpler, right? So now let's say I want to give an assignment to the student. The process remains the same. In the title, I am going to give an assignment, number 1, number 2, or any title that you want to give. Instruction, let's say I want to say that it's a case study and they need to provide a solution to it. Okay, for this case study. So now I'm going to say that same thing. I need to upload a file and I will go on the add file or Google Drive or link or file, the add button which is there, I click on that and I click on file. So now again, I have a couple of case study that I have on my desktop, and let's say I'm going to say that I want to give the case study that is there, right? This, let's say I am going to put a case study. So don't get confused with what I'm trying to do here. I've just got a case study in my system and I want to upload it. So now your assignment is ready, right? Your assignment is ready. What is the assignment? It is a case study that you have given and you want the student to solve it. What is the marks that you're going to give? On the right hand side, you have marks, right? You have marks here. So let's say I'm going to do this for 50 marks, right? And you want to give what time should the student submit it. Let's say I want to give a time slot of, okay, today is Thursday, by 1 tomorrow 6 tomorrow is 6th August, and by tomorrow 6 p.m. I want the student to submit it. Everything is at a click of a button, right? So what did I do? I told that this should be submitted in a specific time. So I'm going to give a due date. When is this assignment due? So 6th of August, that is tomorrow. Or you want to give one more day, you can say Saturday, 7th of August. And then you can specify the time also, 9 a.m. You want to have this submitted by the students. Before 9 a.m. they have to submit. So now you see on your right hand side that there is a due date for it. Saturday, August 7th by 9 a.m. the students have to do this. So now you will ask me a question, right? So, okay, case study is like this. Can I give a examination or a test also like this? Yes, very much possible. Instead of adding a document here, you can directly upload a question paper, right? Let's say you have a question paper stored in any of your files. You can just go ahead and click one of the question paper that is there and you can say upload, right? So you can give a question paper also. I have just given a question paper reference here. I'm just going to open it and show it to you. So the question paper is provided to you and you can look at the question paper. All right. So this is populated and shared with the students. All right. Okay. So now I'm going to post this. So let's say I want to save this assignment for the student. So I just say assign. Right? So your assignment is ready. So the students who are here, all the 10 students, you would have received an email to your Gmail ID. If you can just check, it will say that you have an assignment that has been shared with you. Yes? Ten students. So for 10 students, the assignment has been provided, right? So in the second tab, not in the first tab. You're doing all this adding and uploading file in the second tab. The first tab is stream, the second tab is classwork, the third tab is your people. People tells you who are all your students. So once you give the classroom link, the students are able to log in using that link. They will be allowed into the classroom, right? Are you, can you check and tell me that you have received an email asking you to complete an assignment? Yes, in your email, Gmail, have you got it?
So we have received.
Okay, all right, great. Okay. So now if you just click at it, it will tell you when you're supposed to submit it, what is it that you need to do. It's as simple as that. Now you have given a test online, right? So now you'll have to do a scrutiny, or you'll have to look at the students who are writing the internals or writing the tests, right? So for that, we will get into Google Meet. That is your platform where you can ask people to join, and you will be able to see the students live. Okay. So that Google Meet is a online platform, a bridge, a conference bridge that can be used for invigilating students also, right? There is a time limit for specific Google Meet things that are there. Say for an education institute, there is a Google Meet which you can keep it on for 24 hours. But for education institutes which are not part of the Google suite, you may have it for 50-minute window, right? So that's another part. We'll get into that later. So now you have a assignment that has reached you. So what we have done is we have completed a few things in our Google Classroom. Very simple. Probably it is scary for us to ask somebody, how do we do this? But now I think it's very simple, few steps, and you have learned how to create a classroom, how to upload a notes, how to give an assignment, right? These things clear? Anybody has any queries or any questions? Okay, so I'm going to go forward now. So the next thing is we need to understand. Okay, one thing is we need to have our co-teachers that are going to be there, right? We'll get into that co-teachers part now. So now we'll click on the third tab, that is your people. So here you've added students, you've given a link to the student and you've added students. Now we need to add a co-teacher. Let's say I want to add somebody into my classroom as a teacher. So maybe two people are sharing a subject and they want to be co-teachers and they want to give assignments, upload notes and everything in the same classroom, right? So here you can type the name or any Gmail ID of another teacher who wants to be part of this class. Okay, so I'm going to give it to myself. I'm going to say that, okay, I want to give access to lskumar1@gmail.com, right? So there is an invite that will come to me. Okay, so once I receive that invite, I'll accept it. I'm going to accept it in my email, and immediately you will see that I will be a co-teacher in this classroom. Okay, you will just see that it will reflect in a second. It will just reflect in a second. Right? You see this? I have added myself with a different Gmail ID. If anybody else's ID is required to be added, I can just go click on the right button here and say, give the email ID, and that person will be a part of this classroom as a teacher. This is a very important function when people are sharing subjects, or people are two different faculties are subject matter experts and they want to be in the same classroom and provide inputs to the students, right? So is this clear? How do you add somebody as a teacher, as a co-teacher? Yeah. Okay, great. So, all right, okay. So very basic, we are only learning about basic steps for Google Classroom. You know these steps, you should be able to manage a Google Classroom on your own without any hassles. Now, the other aspect is so now you say that, okay, an assignment has been provided. So how does it look for a student? Now I'm coming to the part where you will see that a student will be able to submit the assignment also. So I think the students are well versed with how do they submit and how do they go about using Google Classroom. So once they submit, here we see that none of the students have turned in. When you say turned in, they have not submitted the assignment. So once they start submitting the assignment, it will change. Nine students have submitted, one is pending. It will show you in that method, right? So at one dashboard, you have the visibility of, let's say there are 60 students. Suppose there are 60 students and 55 have submitted. And who are these 55? You just go and click on grades. What did I do? I'm looking at the assignment in the classroom tab, classwork tab, the second tab which is there in our Google Classroom. And I see that, okay, it has been assigned to 10 students. None of them have submitted yet. I'm just taking a scenario where you have 60 students and 55 have submitted the assignment to you on time, right? 55, another 5 is pending. So where do I look at this? Should I go individually and check? No. The Google Classroom makes it very simple for you to look at the grades of the students. All you do is click on the tab, the fourth tab that is there, that is your grades. So what happens is, let's say we have Chitra Barman here. If this person would have submitted the assignment, it will show it to me as it has been submitted. If somebody wants to submit and show it to me, it will be simpler for me to show you in the window here. So one person has turned in. Okay, so I'm going to, okay. Desham Kondama Reddy has submitted. It is showing in green. Okay, you can see this. It is showing in green. Are you all with me on the same page? You're able to understand what I'm doing here? You're able to relate? Okay, 2 people have submitted. No, just one person. So what I do is I just go click on this. And there are 3 bullets that comes on the right hand side. I just click on this and say view submission. Right, there are no files attached, but he has turned in, he has submitted. But let's say the person has submitted attached in a PDF document and submitted, the PDF will show it here. The PDF will be visible for you. What did I do? I just did 2 steps, right? I'm going to tell you again. I went into grades, the 4th tab on the Google Classroom, and in that there will be a green mark or the marks will be visible in green color. You just click on that and there will be 3 bullet that pops up. You will know that that is the person who has submitted, right? So now this window comes up once you click, right? So now let's say the PDF has not been attached. Thanks that Desham Kondama Reddy has submitted this so that we know how the screen looks. So once the PDF or a student written document is submitted, you can just go to grades. You can see that no files is attached. If a file is attached, it will be visible for you in this, right? It will be in this area. I'm hoping you are able to see this window. So you read through the questions, you read through the answers, what the students have written, and say you got 45 marks. You can say 45 marks, or you can say 35 marks has been provided, right? So you can say 35 marks, and then you click on return. You will say, click on return. Right? Student will be notified and can check any grade you have left. So the student has got 35 marks, right? So you are saying return. So your correction also happens within the Google Classroom. It's the most simplest thing that can happen, right? Are you with me? You are able to understand? There is no file restriction. There is no file size restriction. I think Amrish has a question here. There is no file size restriction here. The file size restriction is for the entire Google account. When I say entire Google account, what I mean is your Google account has a cap of 15 GB, right? I have created a normal account and I'm just using it. So that account has a 15 GB limit, right? So 15 GB is humongous when you look at PDF documents, but somebody uploading a video, it is very less. Okay, right? So you can see that I've given the marks and it is reflecting in the grades 35. I think we have one other person who has submitted. Amrish has submitted. So I'm going to go do the same exercise again. I'm going to go to Amrish in the student list and I'm going to go to view submission, right? If you look at view submission, again, the same window comes to you and you can basically the blank window that you're seeing here will show you the PDF that the student has updated, a PDF, or it could be a document. Anything that the student has uploaded will be visible for you. So you can say that, okay, I have reviewed the document and I'm going to give 30 marks for the students, for this student, right? So now, how do I say that? I have to inform the student. I have to tell Amrish, this is the marks that you have scored. So I'm going to go click on return. So student will be notified. Amrish will get to know that 30 marks has been given for the test, for the assignment. Right? Simple, right? This is very simple. I think until and unless you get into it, it seems very complex, but it is very simple. If anybody has any questions, you can just ask me. I would be more than happy to clarify. One question was related to the file size. The file size limitation is only with reference to the, yeah.
Can I ask one question, sir?
Sure, please.
Sir, suppose if you are sending the assignment in the classroom side, but the students are sending in the stream first one, no, in that only they are sending. How
correct. That is the, yes, I understand. I told you in the first discussion, the stream, whatever is visible for us is just it's like a notice board. Okay, you can't use the notice board for submission. That basic understanding we'll have to build into the student, right? The stream that you're saying the student will say that, okay, I'm going to upload it here only, right? That's the confusion that students
yes, sir.
have. Okay, we need to educate the student and tell that is just a notice board. Okay, what is a notice board? What all I have put for the class will be in this notice board. What is the notice board? I have given one assignment, I have given one notes. This is a notice board. Whatever is there, you can just scroll and you will know in the notice board. So yes, that is a valid point that you brought in, wherein student will upload it. Sir, in the
whatever we are pasting in the classroom, will it be coming in the notice board, sir?
Yes, any assignment, anything that you give will come into the notice board.
Okay, sir. Okay, sir.
Okay, so you need to educate the students and say you are not supposed to upload it here. You're only supposed to upload it in the assignment section where it will be visible for them, right? Once you do that, probably one iteration or two iteration, they may have a confusion, but later they'll be more than happy to understand and do the steps. Yes, Amrish has a question.
Hello, myself Hari. Hello.
Yeah, Hari, please tell me.
Yes. Sir, am I audible?
Yeah, you are audible.
Sir, actually, in the assignment section, if I need to tell the student that these are the corrections to be done in the submitted assignment, so how should I do it? Should I write it separately, or should I just orally tell it to him?
No, you can provide comments here. If you see on the right hand side,
Okay.
okay. So
Okay.
something has been uploaded here. If you see on the right hand side, there are comments.
Okay.
Yes. Are you able to see any
Yeah,
specific
yeah.
comment that you want to give to the student? You can use this.
Mhm.
So it whatever you return with 35 marks and you provide a comment here, please check answer number 2. Okay, you can leave a comment here and post it. Right? It will go to Desham Kondama Reddy directly. Okay.
Okay, sir. Okay.
Very basic. This is very simple until you do one iteration.
So myself, Hari sir.
Yeah, Hari, please tell me.
Yeah, can we restrict the student to, I mean, like a Googling or searching answers for in a Google?
No. See, basically, this is just okay. I totally understand your point of view. Basically, the invigilation part is what you're worried about. How do we do an invigilation, right? Yeah. So that student do not copy. Unfortunately, we do not have a method of using this to invigilate the students. We cannot invigilate using this. This is a platform which only helps us to communicate and submit assignments. What usually we can do as an alternative is the Google Meet. So let's say you give an assignment. You say that the assignment will be given tomorrow morning, 9 o'clock. 9 to 10, you have to finish that assignment. What we can do is we can create a Google Meet login. Google Meet is basically a conference bridge where the student can project themselves in a video. Okay. So you can say that you'll have to be on video and write the assignment. That's the best way of answering your issue.
Yeah. Actually, some third-party tools, the softwares are there. I mean, there is something like we can monitor the student moving and other kind of things. So, is there any alternate in the Google like that? So you should not see.
No. In Google, there is no method that we can have a invigilation done. It doesn't support.
Okay. Thank you.
So you will have to do it in 2 steps. First step is use the Google Classroom to provide a assignment or a test paper. The test paper will reach the student there through Google Classroom. Then use Google Meet. All of the student will log in Google Meet and they will project themselves onto the camera. So you will see them. You will be the person who will be invigilating. So that's the best that we can do. There are other platforms that are there in the in today's scenario, but they are all chargeable.
Sir,
So it doesn't
one thing
make
I want to
sense.
ask.
Yeah.
Sir, suppose if they are sending, some students are not listening, and if they are sending it in the stream, is there any possibility to change the material from stream to classwork, sir?
No, stream is like a notice board. We will have to educate the students.
No. Even though if you are instructing them to not to do it in the stream, continuously if they are sending it in the stream, can we transfer it to the classwork?
No, it won't be visible under the grades for you. It will not be visible under the grades because it is uploaded in the stream it's a two-way communication. What Google Classroom does is it is a two-way communication. The student also can upload anything that he feels is important to the classroom.
Okay, sir.
So in streams, that is what the student does that. That's probably a disadvantage in Google Classroom.
Similarly,
what happens is you will see that
the things in the stream, sir.
Sorry.
Suppose if you are having many material, the students continuously, if they are posting everything, and if the stream we are having lot of materials, how to delete the things, sir?
You can just go click on the right side and
one by one and delete.
No, you can go to edit, and you can delete it here. There is one question related to rubrics that is there. But rubrics is something that we will need more time. One question is there in our chat window related to rubrics. Rubrics is basically your measuring criteria that is there. That I think we'll need a different class for doing it. And the current time may not permit us to do it. It requires a little more understanding. Okay. So you can delete the assignment here in the classwork itself. Let's say you want to delete this, you can delete the assignment here. Delete.
Suppose if it is in the streams, sir?
Streams is like a notice board. So you will not be able to delete it.
Suppose if some students are sending it in the stream, how to
You will
delete
not be
it?
able to delete it.
Then it will be ever long, it will be there in the stream only, sir.
Correct. You cannot delete it.
Oh, okay.
Okay. All right. So this is the basics related to your Google Classroom. So here it tells you how many corrections you have done. I have corrected 2 papers and it has been returned. Okay. So this is the basic steps which is related to your Google Classroom. I hope this will give you a first step in order to conduct your classes, in order to provide assignment, in order to provide your notes, and use a method to communicate to the students. Okay. So I'm not going to go into much detail here, because if I go into much detail like Google Class Drive folder and other things, it will confuse you. So for now, you can just do these steps. And if somebody wants to have more information, you can reach out to me. All right. So Class Drive is something like everything will get stored in your Google Drive. So you have 2 people who had submitted something, right? See, it is visible here. The person who had submitted, it will be visible in your Class Drive. Okay, but we'll not get into that. It is a little confusing. We'll not get into that Class Drive thing right now. All right. So now let's go to our next topic. So basically, all the links that are there, you have access to the PDF, to the PPT also. So you can look at it. And each of these links will tell you the steps that I have done in the class here or done in the session here. Okay. The next thing is related to Google Meet. Okay. Google Meet. What is a Google Meet? Google Meet is a conference bridge. As simple as that. What is a conference bridge? I need to do a face-to-face conversation with a person, and also I need to make a call. I can use the Google Meet. Okay. Again, the start point for your Google Meet becomes your Gmail ID, right? Your Gmail ID becomes a start point. So once you have a Gmail ID, you can start a Google Meet and schedule for a call. Google Meet is as simple as a conference bridge. Okay. So all right. So let's go and look at the Google Meet and see what can you, ma'am, enable screen sharing for me?
Sure.
Okay, thanks, ma'am. Sorry. Yeah. All right. So now if I go into the Google Meet, again, I'll go to my Gmail first, right? In Gmail, again, I'll go at, there are 3 on the corner, there are bullets that are visible to you, right? Dots that are visible to you. Now I'm going to go and click on Google Meet. As simple as that. So now I want to do a face-to-face meeting with somebody. So how do I do it? What is it that I need to do? It's very simple. Again, a few clicks is what you need. So now you know how to get into Google Meet. Now I want to have a new meeting. How do I create a new meeting? How do I, basically you are saying that it's like, okay, the way you are going to look at it is, there's a wedding. Okay. The wedding is at, the Muhurtam is at 9:30 to 10:15. So you are supposed to tell everybody you are supposed to be in this Muhurtam by 9:30 to 10:15. That time you are supposed to be in the Muhurtam. So you need to schedule a Google Meet, right? You need to schedule and say that the meeting or the face-to-face conversation is going to happen between 9:30 to 10:15. So you need to be there for that meeting. That is called your scheduling of the meeting. Okay, so it's very simple. All I did was go here. There are bullet points or dots which are there on the right hand side of your Gmail. Click on that and click on Google Meet. Right now you have the Google Meet window that has come up. Now first thing, you need to schedule for a meeting. How do I schedule for a meeting? I need to tell people 9:30 to 10:15, please be available for a face-to-face conversation. So what I do is I click on the new meeting, right? I click here on new meeting. Basically, you can create a meeting instantly. Let's say you want to talk to somebody right now, you say start an instant meeting. Okay, or you want to create a meeting for later, you can create a meeting for later also. So I say that tomorrow morning 9:30 to 10:15, I want everybody to join for a meeting. All I do is this. You can say that this is the meeting ID, copy this, and I can post it in the WhatsApp group. Okay, but we are not going to learn any of these methods. We are going to learn a method where we'll use the Google Calendar to schedule the meeting. I know it feels a little complex, boss. What is Google Calendar? I may not know how to handle it. You don't need to be an expert in handling it. All you need to do is you need to click on new meeting and schedule in Google Calendar. Right? What do I want to schedule? All I did was 2 clicks. First thing is I told I want to schedule a meeting using Google Calendar, and this comes up. So I want to say that face-to-face meeting tomorrow. Tomorrow's date is August 6th. It should happen in the morning. I'm only doing all the settings that are there in. Okay, I want it from 9:30. 9:30 to 10:30 a.m. tomorrow, right? I'm going to schedule the time. When is it that I want to have a face-to-face meeting? 9:30 to 10:30 a.m. tomorrow. Join with Google Meet. Okay. This is what. Sorry, just a minute. So what I did was I just clicked and it immediately took me to the meeting, right? So here you see that there is a Google Meeting ID that has been created here. Can you see this? Up to 100 participants can join. Can you see this? Yes?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So now all you need to do is tell who are the people who want to be in this meeting. You say that face-to-face meeting discussion at Adhyapana. Okay. So this is what is going to be the agenda for the meeting. So your Google Meet is also ready, and you want to invite guests. Let's say I want to invite Kumar, myself, right? At Gmail. So on the right hand side, you invite all the guests that you want, right? As simple as this. Yeah, I'm going to invite. Okay, I am the Adhyapana test is the organizer. LS Kumar has been invited for the meeting. All you do is this and you say save. You can send an email. It will ask you, should I send an email to LS Kumar? Calendar guest is LS Kumar. Do you want me to send it to him? Yes. Okay. So now you've used the Google Calendar to schedule a meeting, right? Yes, you're clear with this step? Yes? No?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So now you need to look at the meetings that are there for you tomorrow, right? So once you schedule for a meeting, what happens is that it will show you in this screen. I scheduled it for tomorrow, so it is not showing me. Generally, in the corporate world, what happens is that they will say that today's meeting, what are the meetings that I have to attend? Show me for only today. So let's say I'm going to create another meeting for tomorrow. For today by 7:30, I want to have another meeting. I'm just only doing this so that you know where the meeting will be visible for you to start. Okay, I'm just doing the same step where I'm using the Google Calendar, and I'm going to say that today 7:30 p.m. Okay. Test meeting for today, right? The Google Meet ID is also available in this now. Okay. And I'm going to add the guest again. Okay. And I'm going to say save. The invite will get saved. I'm only doing it that it is going to show you in your Google Meet what is the meeting that you have for today, right? So I'm going to refresh it. Can you see on the right hand side there is a meeting that has come, 7:30 meeting, test meeting for today. Yes. So all you need to do is click on this meeting at 7:30 or 7:25 in the evening today, and it will start the meeting. Yeah, clear?
Yes, sir.
So I think this is very basic, and this is something that you will need. Let's say you have a student number of 60 people in a class. So you send this meeting invite and they will log into the meeting and they will project themselves in the video and they will write the test. That's the simplest way of giving a test and doing the invigilation. Yes, there are loopholes that can be used, but this is one way of using Google Classroom and Google Meet for our purposes in the classroom. Okay, so this is what I had to share with you all today. And if you have any more questions, we can take up questions. Or if you want to reach out to me, I am available in this email ID and this is my phone number. You guys can reach out to me at any point in time if you need any help on this. You have any questions, I will be more than happy to take it up. Very basic. This is not something that is too difficult. A first step is what we have taken in understanding what is Google Classroom, how do we use it, what is Google Meet, how do we use it as a conference bridge, and what should we be doing in terms of uploading materials, giving assignments, and other things. Okay. So any questions that you have, please feel free to ask.
Is there any way to get the attendance automatically?
No, I think that we'll have to do it manually. See, because I'll tell you what is the disconnect. If you look at Microsoft Teams, all the things that you are asking is possible in Microsoft Teams, but Google as a platform, the current discussion that we are having with reference to Classroom and Google Meet, it does not facilitate that. I know it would make our life very simple if the attendance is just a click. In Google, in Microsoft Teams, you have that option where you can just click and the attendance will be there for you. But in the Google Classroom, no, we don't have that feature.
Sir, there is a question in the chat box from Jayanti.
Without admitting, will they be able to enter on their own and wait for us? Yes. All you need to do is you will have to download. Let's say you are using your Google Chrome. Okay, go to Google Chrome. Just a minute. Let me just show it to you so that you will have more clarity. So I'm just going to open a Google Chrome window, and I'm going to, okay, let me just share that for you so that it will be clear. First thing, to answer your question, yes, they don't have to, every time you don't have to click on admit, and everybody will be admitted only after your confirmation, right? It doesn't happen that way. So it does not need to be done in that way. What I'm going to do is I'm going to just, you're able to see the Google Chrome, the browser window.
Yes, sir.
So you just do this, and there is a small application that you can download onto your Google Chrome itself. You just click on this and download it onto your Google Chrome. You will be able to automatically admit students. Okay, it is there. You just click on this, and it shows you how you can do this. So you can just download this. It is available on Chrome. Any of the application that is there, right? It will automatically ensure you will be able to admit people. You don't have to click admit every time. I know it's a little tedious and little frustrating sometimes, but you will be able to do it. It is possible. So you just need to, Mona, I'm actually using a Safari browser for a, it's a Safari browser. I'm not using a Windows laptop. So I'm using a Safari browser, but everything will work the same way as your Google Chrome. So you just need to download this extension, and you will be able to admit people into the Google Meet without any manual intervention. Okay. Right. I think more or less we have addressed all the questions. If any other questions are there, you can reach out to me on email or call me. And thank you, ma'am. I'm now handing over the session to Maya, ma'am. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. I again request all the participants, if you have any questions, please post it, or you can unmute yourself and go ahead with the questions. You can please unmute yourself and go ahead with the questions if you have any. The feedback form is being shared in the chat box. You can please fill in your feedback form.
Ma'am, I think there is one question from Amrish with reference to any recording option available for Google Meet without having the full version of Google Meet. Amrish, if you are part of a college, all education institutions can get an option of the recording if they can show that they are an education institution, right? There is a method that you will have to follow in using Google. There are steps. If you're able to follow that, you will also be able to have a recording option for your entire college, not only for yourself. Only thing is you need to be an educational institution. Okay, great.
Any other questions? Please go ahead. You can drop into chat box, or you can unmute yourself and directly talk to sir. Okay, seems like no questions.
Hopefully, I'm hoping that this session was beneficial, even though this is very basic. I'm hoping that it was of some use to all of you.
So personally, I feel it was useful, because though I have started working with Google Classroom from almost last lockdown or before to that, I wasn't aware of a few options which were available. So
Okay,
for me,
great.
it was useful. There are also comments in the chat box. Very informative session. Excellent session, very useful. Hands-on training was helpful. So there are a lot of comments coming in.
Thank you. I am happy that I am of some use.
Okay, the last part of the today's session, I thank Professor Kumar to take out time from your busy schedule and deliver a session on Google Classrooms and Google Meet. We also look forward for a long-term association with Adhyapana sir. And
Definitely, ma'am.
thank you all the participants that every time we conduct, in fact, we have been conducting free seminars almost every week. And there are a lot of support which we are receiving from each of the participants. I can see a lot number of faculties are joining in over and again to our sessions. Thank you so much to all the participants and all those who have been a constant support. And please do take care, stay safe. Again, pandemic is hitting back. So please do take care, and thank you again for each one of you joining us. Good night. We'll be leaving the session. Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you all. Have a good evening. Thank you. Bye.